I'll start the first question for you. Is that probably the word that kept coming to my mind the most when I was watching the film is just perseverance. Not just for yourself, but for your whole family, and also Dooku Kim's family as well, too. Maybe just talk to us in the audience a little bit about how you gathered the strength, right? When there were so many moments where you could have been beaten in the ring and out of it. How did you gather the strength to be able to persevere through your life?
Well, first, before I answer that question,
Yeah.
where are the deaf speaking? At the top?
Oh, yeah, she's just up at the top.
I just want to say, if you guys,
There you go.
is that okay? She sees me. I learned that in sign language. It's the only thing. So, that means I love you. So I just didn't want to think I was saying anything bad to her. I guess, the one thing growing up in Youngstown, Ohio, Youngstown's a very blue-collar, we're the second biggest still producing city in the world. Youngstown, we're north of Pittsburgh, and now we're south of Cleveland. So we're right in that steel belt. And growing up in Youngstown was, like as I said, was a wonderful life. And, but you grew up in a town like Youngstown, it's, faith, family, and friends. That's what you grew up on. And the thing that carried me through all that is my faith. My strength, my faith in God, faith in myself, and thank God I had that. But that's something that was built up from when I was a little boy. So thank God I had that background, and that's the strength of faith.
Maybe for Jesse and Adam here too, and we're definitely going to throw it to you guys too. So start thinking of things we're going to ask you right after we talk to Jesse and Adam here, of questions you may have for anybody up here. Talk to us a little bit about, for you guys, what was so inspiring for you and what moved you to make this film, and maybe what pushed you through, which is a really difficult moment in Ray's life, to make this film The Good Son.
I know what Jesse's going to say, and the same for me. It's Ray. When you meet Ray and you meet the person he is, it's hard not to get attached and want to push through it. I mean, even if you saw the Korean translator that's behind the scenes, it was during the dinner scene and stuff like that. I mean, Chang, he was crying in all the interviews because he was getting so attached to the story as well, trying to translate in between. It's hard not to meet Ray and be infected by him and his personality, and I think Jesse did a great job of portraying, what they had to go through in making the film, and also Ray's life.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I also think that Ray's life is far more reaching than just one fight, and I think there's so many elements to his life that are intriguing as a filmmaker and a storyteller. So for me, it wasn't, I had to go into certain areas, but it was just, here's the other thing. When I was 12 years old, I watched a lot of Ray's fights. Sort of a weird thing to say, but I was a pugilist at heart, young man. So literally 30 years later, I got the call to direct a film. So it was just an honor. So you never give up.
Can I say that I'm very honored to be here, because this is the first time we've had any type of screening in front of high school kids. So I'm really flattered, and I'm very honored, and I'm anxious to hear some of the questions to see see what you think of it.
Yeah, and it can be comments too as well if you just want to say something about it.
About my life or about my career, because believe me, this is your one and only shot. After this, there's no questions to be asked. It's pretty much out there now.
All right, so we'll just go by show of hands, clearly. Yeah, let's go right down center here.
What were your initial feelings of being hailed as American hero and like a real-life Rocky at the height of your career, like meeting celebrities like Frank Sinatra and like Sylvester Stallone?
It was pretty cool.
I don't know if anybody heard the question. He wanted to know what it was like when I was champion to be considered America's hero in the real life Rocky, and meeting celebrities like Sylvester Stallone and Frank Sinatra. So let me just say, one thing I'm learning, my father, when I was growing up, my father being a fighter, taught me a lot about how to handle success and what to expect of it. My father used to have some great things, and he's told me since I was a little boy. He'd always say to me, Raymond, always remember, don't take this stuff serious, this fame stuff serious. See people calling you champ on the way in and calling you bum on the way out. Don't take it serious. And you always say, one day the headline, next day the breadline. It's a small fall from the limo to the curb. And which is true. And so all these things he'd say to me. So, I had I had fun with it. I had a lot of fun with it. You know, the press says a lot of things. You know, all the good stuff. I was riding the wave. I was the golden boy for a little bit, and then, you know, after that, so you have to take the good and the bad and you know, filter it out. You know, it's nice when they say good things, and it hurts when they say bad things. But you got to kind of stay neutral, you know, and that's what I try to do. I was 21. I was riding that wave, like I said. You know, I was on top of the world. I was having fun with it. But then within 6 months, you know, it crashed. And so you have to deal with that also. So I had fun with the fame. I had fun with the celebrity. But you have to send it. It doesn't last forever. It doesn't mean a whole lot. At the end of the day, I mean, I can't get a cup of coffee next door. So what's that mean? You know? Yeah, thank you. I mean, it just shows to show you, people, they remember you and it's good, but then sooner or later, you know, it's called being in the light. I was in the light for a while, but the light moves. Light moves on everybody. So you could be in it for a day, a month, a year, 10 years, whatever. Eventually it's going to move. And I knew that. So it was great. It was great at the time. I had a great time with it. The best part about my life is meeting the people like Frank Sinatra, the celebrities I met that were fans of mine, the guys I was fans of, and then they became fans of mine. So it's a great thing. It's a great thing.
Great question. More questions here. The gentleman next to him, and then, yeah, we'll get to this young lady here after.
Just a question on how often did you think about your brother before and like after his death, through your fights and kind of through your life, to kind of give you strength?
Again, he asked about my brother, how often I thought of my brother, you know, after he passed away, before my fights, and to give me strength. And I'm glad you asked that. I appreciate that. Because it's funny, the first, you know, he passed February 14th, Valentine's Day of 1981. And as soon as I got back, I told my manager and my trainer to give me a fight as soon as possible. And wound up getting a fight March 12th, you know, less than a month later. And everyone was concerned about how I was going to react. So like I said, after I got hit on the chin and I came back okay, after the fight, the first person I was looking for was my brother. It was automatic because he was the first person always in the ring. And when he wasn't there, then I guess reality set in that, you know. And it's all right. And to answer your question, there isn't a day I don't go by, I don't think of him. He's always a part of me, you know. But we just move on. That's what we do, right? We move forward. That's all you can do. And yeah, I appreciate that. But he's always there. He's always there. And like I said in the film, there's times after that I think of him often, and you know, he came to me in my dreams, and you know, let me know he was fine. And again, I you know, I don't know if it's psychosomatic that I'm trying to convince myself or not, but I truly believe he came to me in my dream and gave me that peace.
And sorry, just one small comment. My dad loves boxing, like vintage boxing and stuff. And then when he showed me all like the people like Muhammad Ali and stuff, then he showed me all your fights and everything when I was a little younger. And I just like to say thanks for a little bit of inspiration because I'm also kind of a small Italian guy.
My man, me and you.
So and just like he showed me like kind of like because you're one of his favorites. So he showed me like how
Thank you.
your life and like to show the perseverance. It was always kind of a form of inspiration.
Thank you. That means a lot. That means more than that. That's what my life's worth, man. That means everything when you say that. Thank you so much, man. Honest to God. Thank you. Man, my day's made, man. My day made my day. Made my day.
I believe we got time for you, and then
Well,
we're
what
going to
did this
have
young lady
a special guest come up here in a second.
this young
so-
lady just
Yeah,
said?
go for it.
I have a question. What was it like growing up knowing that your dad was a famous boxer? Like, always like going to school. Like, what was it like?
Well, I mean, growing up in Youngstown, you know, asking what it was like growing up in Youngstown with my father being a famous fighter. And, I mean, I often hear people say when their fathers are famous athletes or stuff, well, I'm my own man. I'm trying to live my father's life. I got my own career. I'm going to set my own life. And I never understood that. To me, you should be proud of that, you know. I know, look, I'm not the fighter my father was. My father's a much better fighter than me. I came at the right time. I got a time when TV hit. If my father would have been at the same time, he would have been $1 million fighter. He came at a time of depression when he was hungry. I had other opportunities. When I was in high school, I had athletic as well as academic scholarship to go to college. Had a professional baseball offer, which was the Toronto Blue Jays was the professional team. But in 1979, I think they were offering anybody a contract. It was their second year in the league. They needed guys. But I had other opportunities. And he said, Raymond, it's a painful life. It's a lonely life. I had to fight. I had to eat. You have so many other opportunities. But I said, no, I want to win the title for you. But I was so proud to be his son. He's a better person. He's a better father. He's better at everything. But that's who I wanted to be. And when I was growing up, now I have 3 children myself. And I have a daughter, 23, a son, 21, and my baby's a senior in high school. He's 17. And I tell both my boys, I said, look, it's hard being a son. I understand that. It's hard being a son. And to be a son of somebody famous like myself, I can't imagine. I understand that, but now it's a whole different magnitude. I understand how hard that is. But trust me, I said, trust me. When I mess up or whatever, you got to give me a pass on things because it's much more difficult being a father. So give your parents a break, man. Give your parents a break. Give them a pass sometimes, okay?
Some great words of wisdom there. Paul, if you can come down here, we're going to introduce a special guest here in a couple seconds. And Paul's going to give a little introduction to him, and then we will kind of start to wrap things up.
Thanks, Christian. Thanks, guys. This is fantastic. This is a great opportunity for all of us. We're so honored to have Ray and Jesse and Adam here. Before the Duke Kim fight in April of 1981, there was a fight in Chicago. Ray Mancini in one corner, and in the other corner was a born and raised Edmontonian. Your parents would probably remember Al Ford. He had quite a boxing career. In fact, he was ranked at the world level. Never got the opportunity to fight for a championship, but he remembers well that fight, as do you, I know, Ray.
It was my first nationally televised fight. It was on ESPN.
So, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Edmonton's own Al Ford. They meet for the first time in 31 years.
Man, thank you so much, honest to God. Thank you.
Whoa.
Yeah, and if you want to talk, maybe, Al, just a little bit about your experience with Ray and vice versa.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank God and Jesus Christ, my personal Savior, because I've was fighting for 20 years, and I had 103 fights and lost 16. But the worst fight was with Mr. Boom Boom. He hit me in I believe it was the 3rd round.
Fourth round.
Oh.
I remember that. I
Carry
remember
that on. In the 4th round, he hit me on the side here, and I still wasn't coming down, so he just kept pounding me there, and I thought, okay, I'm going down here. So I went down on one knee, and I'm thinking, well, what should I do? Should I get up real quick and start letting him beat on me again, or just stay there? I thought, I got an 8 count. I'm just going to stay there. And so I waited for the 8 count and got up, and then I said, okay, let's go. And I'll tell you, it was great.
But let me just say this. Here's what he's very humble. Let me tell you, when I knew I was going to fight Al Ford, I had known his experience. He had a lot of experience. He was a world-ranked fighter. And so I had known that the guys he fought. So I was, but my manager said, you're not going to knock this guy out. And I said, no, I can knock him out. No, you're not going to knock him out, but you're going to learn quite a bit. He's going to take you to school. And let me tell you, Al was slapping me around for the first 3 rounds. I couldn't find him. He's slick. He was, being a fighter, they call it being cute. He was being cute in there. I couldn't figure him out. And he was slapping me to death,
That's because he kept hitting me.
But I was fortunate in that 4th round to start coming on, and I caught him. He went down. And I said, oh, now I got him. It was worse afterwards. It was a worse headache afterwards. And I truly believe his experience it kept him in the fight. And I just think that my youth and my strength kind of won me the fight. But from that fight is how I got my first network fight after that. I fought on television for the first time on network television, May of the same year. So they said it's because of my fight with L, they got me my network shot. So I thank y'all for a large part of my success, believe me. Because beating him was a big thing because a lot of people think I was in over my head. He had so much experience. And I wasn't doing well early in the fight, but I was fortunate to catch him and did well after that.
Yeah, I had to keep running around, run back this way, run back this way. And then he would be trying to get me up against the rope. He loves getting people up against the rope. And when he got me up against the rope, I got to get out of here. And the fight with him, to me, out of all the fights I have had, I would say it was like a Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali. And he was a real bull. But, you know, it's really good to do something that you like doing. There's any sport you like doing, and if you really put your mind to it, you can do it. There's nothing that you can say, I can't do it. You can do it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
God bless you.
That's right. Thank you. Hey, now look. Tell me it looks like he can't go. Tell me it looks like he can't go 4 rounds. 4 rounds. Look at it, man. Look at you. You look great. God bless you, man. You're great.
We could probably do this for hours, but unfortunately, we're going to have to kind of wrap things up here a little bit because we have another screening for
Well,
some
we got to
of
go
you.
back to school already?
No, not yet. Well, at least not my guys. We're going to stick around for another film. Yep. So, also for some of you, going to have lunch. Yeah. What's up? What?
I'm sorry?
Are
My
your
sons, no, my sons aren't in Edmonton. But thank you. I appreciate that. But
You let them know, Ray.
yes,
that they
well,
got
you know
some
what?
love.
I got to brag. And since my son Ray was in a reality show this year on social media. It's made for high school kids, which is why I allowed them to do it. And it was called Summer Break, at Summer Break. So if you go on YouTube, you can get the show, at Summer Break. And it's about kids going up, and it's about kids that were seniors going off to college, but there's 3 juniors they followed, and they're going to follow them the next year too. It's going to go another year. So if you can check them out at Summer Break on YouTube. And you check, yeah!
All right, so thanks to you guys for being amazing, great questions and stuff like that. Thanks to all the teachers that helped organize this as well. Of course, thanks to our guests, Jesse James Miller, also Adam Scorgi, Ken Johnson, Ian Herher in that house, and of course, the legendary Ray Boom Boom Mancini
Thank you.
and Al
Thank you.
Ford.
I'm so happy to learn.
All right.